Hi besties, what's up? My name is Makenzie and welcome to my channel and welcome to the start of a very exciting video. So today, as you guys can see from the title, thumbnail, what have you, we are going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. I'm not loving this angle. I'm not gonna lie, I'm using a tripod for the first time in a while, like a big tripod, and I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about her right now. And I also got a new microphone, so hopefully it's working the way it needs to be so that you guys can actually hear me. I think it is. Let me know if you're regulars on this channel. Let me know if you can hear a difference between this and the mini microphones. I'm hoping you can. I'm hoping this mic is a little bit better. But anyway, as you saw from the title, thumbnail, what have you, we are going to be going over my mid-year book freakout tag. Hopefully, if every duck aligns, I will be able to get this out to you on July 2nd, which is the exact halfway point through the year, at least according to my Google searches. So we are going to be basically just looking at all the questions. All my answers are on my phone. I prepped for this video last night, so I'm really excited to film it. Hopefully we can get through this relatively quickly. I will say, unfortunately, I am going to have to put the books up on the screen right here, so I'm going to scooch over a little bit and let's just get into it. I will also link all the creators down below. I know that there are quite a few people who have added questions to this tag, done stuff. I directly got the questions off of Larry's channel from Larry Reads. So I'll link her down below, but I will also link the original creators of the tag down below as well. So the first question is actually a question that I added. I'm sure that other people have added it too, but it is, how many books have you read this year? At this point, I'm actually filming this on June 26th, so it might be a little bit higher by the time I post this video, but at this point I have read 65 books. Not quite halfway to my goal. So I don't know that I'm gonna hit my 200 book goal this year, but I'm on track to finish 130, which is still really, really good. On to question number 2, and that is best book you read so far this year. And I usually would not choose a book under these circumstances, but literally the only book that has really, really stood out to me, I'm really been like just above and beyond my expectations, was Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. Now, I have read this book before. I read it in 2019, I believe is when it came out. I read it the year it came out. So it's been quite a long time since I've read it. I mean, it's been, 7 years. So I wasn't exactly sure that I was going to still love it as much as I did, but I was pleasantly surprised when I read it, and I just loved it so much more than I could have anticipated. So if you don't know, this is an enemies to lovers witch hunter romance, which makes it really juicy. So they are enemies to lovers, and there is an arranged marriage in this book in between the witch hunter, Reed, and the witch, which is Lou. And that's kind of the very basic premise of this book, but what this book mostly follows is Lou. And Lou is kind of in this interesting situation. The place that she lives in hates witches, hates magic, and because she is a witch who can do magic, she is always being hunted. Not only is she always being hunted by the people that are trying to kill the witches in this world, but she also has a mom who is on the hunt for her, and so she's trying to stay as far away from that as she possibly can. Then we have Reed, who is like the head of the chasseurs, which are like the top of the top witch hunters. They have basically vowed a law of celibacy to their leader, and that they will not even like look at women basically. But Lou and Reed kind of get into an uncomfortable situation when Reed is trying to catch her and talk to her, and she's trying to run away, and they end up tumbling in front of a bunch of people. And basically Reed's boss is like, we have to do some damage control. She's your wife, and you were like reprimanding her. You were punishing her for something that she did wrong. So they immediately get married, and it's kind of about them falling in love despite their differences. There's obviously like a hidden identity, because obviously Lou cannot tell Reed that she is a witch, because it does not matter. If Reed finds out that someone is a witch, they're a goner. All right, next we have the worst book you read so far this year, and for this I have 2. They were both DNFs, but they are the only books that I didn't like this year that I've read. We have Sweet Thursday by Mari Carr and Next to Heaven by James Frey. Sweet Thursday by Mari Carr was supposed to be a book about a girl reconnecting with her best friends from high school who she was always in love with. And basically the premise of this book is that they were supposed to have like a steamy weekend together to get it out of her system, and then she was gonna move on with her life, find a nice guy, get married, settle down, have kids, the whole shebang. but what she doesn't expect is for all of them to kind of form this bond over this weekend and not want to leave each other's sides. It was just so stupid. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I was about, I don't know, 50% of the way through, and I was like, okay, like, where is this going? So I skipped to see what the third act conflict was. Oh, that scared me, sorry. And the third act conflict was ridiculous. I'm sorry, but when you're 30 years old, literally people telling you that you can't date this person, or you can't date two people at once, or you can't love two people at once is actually, like, ridiculous. So, yeah. It was a whole thing. Like, the third act conflict was stupid, and no one tried to fight for anybody except for one person. And then they were told to let it go. And at that point, I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not gonna read this. And then we have Next to Heaven by James Frey. Unfortunately, that was a book written using AI. I did not know this. I was actually reading Goodreads reviews when I was reading it. I was about 75% of the way through when I finished, when I stopped reading it. But basically it was saying that James Frey is a known AI writer. He always has been. And it's kind of disheartening because I actually heard about this book from Book of the Month and was really excited to read it. And that's where I actually got it from. So it's very disheartening that obviously Book of the Month chose to have an AI featured writer on there. Allegedly, he did not use AI to write this book, but I don't know. That's all hearsay. I don't know if I believe that, so I just decided to DNF and cut my losses. Next, we have the best sequel you've read so far this year, and I have to give it to Under the Oak Tree Comic Volume 2 by Suji Kim. If you don't know, I've had kind of a mixed bag. I read the novelized version of this comic series last year, and or 2 years ago maybe at this point, like at the end of 2024 possibly, but I was having very mixed feelings on kind of what I was thinking about the romance. Basically this book follows our two main characters. One is Princess Maxie and then one is Lord Riften, and Lord Riften has this very prestigious and, like, honestly very impressive background history, and he's looking for a wife, and he ends up getting this arranged marriage with Maxie. Well, Maxie's kind of left very unsatisfied after the wedding because he basically gets married to her. They consummate their marriage because they have to back in this time period, and then he leaves for an undisclosed amount of time to go and fight this dragon. So when he comes back, there's a lot of miscommunication that's happening, and a lot of, in the book version of this, a lot of the spice scenes that were happening in this seemed very non-consensual. I'm just gonna be honest. And I think it might have been not necessarily like how the author was trying to portray it, but I do think that there is a possibility that it was a translation issue because the books are translated. So I read the comic of Volume 1, and actually I really liked it. I think that if you are going to read the series, I would read the first book after having read at least the first comic, because I don't get non-con vibes from the comics necessarily. But when I read Volume 2, the amount that I was kicking and squealing and, like, just having the best time of my life was astronomical. I really, really liked this one. I'm really excited to read Volume 3. I don't know when it comes out. I need to take a look at that. But I also should try to finish Book 2 in the novelized version. And then we have the worst sequel you read so far this year. And I'm gonna have to do Captivated by the Lumberjack by Elsie James. Okay, so I got on Kobo Plus while I was camping, and I downloaded this whole Lumberjack romance series. Their novellas are about 60 pages each, I think maybe 70 pages. And I basically flew through the first 3. And, you know, they're as good as you expect 60 to 70 page novellas to be, right? But it just felt like by the end of the series, unfortunately, Elsie James, it just seemed like she did not want to write the series anymore. Especially with this book in particular. We follow our two main characters, and I don't really remember their names off the top of my head right now, but we follow our two main characters, and they kind of have an interesting background. The main love interest was brothers with the female main love interest, or the female main character, so the female main character was engaged to be married to his brother, and the brother unfortunately passes away. So it's kind of about them kind of navigating that and how they're going to tell their family and stuff. And then we also obviously have, a surprise pregnancy trope, which is why I was actually really excited to read it. But yeah, it just felt like by books 4 and 5, the author just did not really care. I don't feel like we got the emotional depth that I wanted. I don't feel like we really ended the book off where I would have liked to end off the series. So that's kind of a bummer, but that's okay. Next we have new release that you haven't read yet, but still want to. I have my top 5 options. There are so many more books that have come out this year that I want to read, but top 5 are In Immorta by Ava Reed. I can never say that right, but I'm really, really excited to read that book. We have Cherry Baby by Rainbow Rowell, and then sorry, I guess I only have 3 options. I'm thinking of a different question. But anyway, and then Game On by Nevessa Allen. I did get halfway through Game On. I just have not, honestly, I have not continued on with it. I've kind of been in a weird reading funk this year, I feel like. But I'm very, very excited to hopefully get to all of those this year. And like I said, there are like a million more new releases that I would like to get to this year as well. This is the one where we have a top 5. So this is, this question is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. And so the first book I'm going to talk about is actually book 5 / a spin-off book to the Marionette series by Katie Wismer. I do not believe that we have a title for this book as of yet. I could be wrong. If I am wrong, I will put it on the screen. I feel like she's announced it on her Patreon, but I don't know if that's public knowledge, so I'm not going to put it out here. But I'm very excited about it. It's following a character. Actually, it's following 2 characters that I'm very interested in how their dynamic is going to play out in the books. I really need to finish the Marionette series. I still have to read the last book. I'm just really scared of it, but I will read it before this next book comes out. I think it's coming out in like August or September, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have Rotten Heart by Kat Dunn. Kat Dunn wrote one of my top 5 books of last year. The name is escaping me right now, but I'll put a picture right here. I loved that book so much. And so the fact that she has another book coming out, I need to get my grubby little mitts on it immediately. Then we have Heartstopper, Volume 6 by V.E. Schwab, by Alice Oseman. Sorry, don't know where that, well, I do know where it came from. We'll get into it. I am not ready for this release. I will be a shell of a person when we have no more Heartstopper content. I do plan on reading this before I watch Heartstopper the movie when it comes out next month. I'm really excited about that. I'm also planning on doing a whole binge watch of the first few seasons of the show as well. So I'm really excited about that. And then, yeah, Victorious by V.E. Schwab. Never thought that I'd see the day that this book was released, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited to read this book. A girl that I watch on here, what's her name? I'll put her channel name. Oh, Heather McLary. She got an arc of this and she said that it was phenomenal. And I believe that this is the concluding book to the series. So I cannot wait. I honestly never thought I'd see the day that Victorious came out, but I'm so excited to be back with Victor and Eli. I really need to reread the first 2 books before I get into the 3rd one though. And then my most anticipated release of the year, you're gonna hear this from a lot of people, but it has to be ACOTAR 6 by Sarah J. Maas. It has to be. I'm one of those girlies who's just basic like that. So I do need to get prepared for it. I need to finish the second Crescent City book, and I also need to obviously read the 3rd one as well. But I also wanted to do a reread of the ACOTAR books as well if I could get to it. So we're just gonna see how it goes, but I'm very excited about that. Then we have the biggest surprise of the year, and I have 2 answers for this as well. First, we have The Archived by Victoria or V.E. Schwab. I don't know which name she goes by on The Archived. I guess actually, no, never mind. It's behind the picture of Dorian Gray right there. But I am very, very, very excited to finish out with the other book that she has written in the series. I think it was originally supposed to be a trilogy, but she has since stopped writing it. But if you don't know, actually follows a girl named Makenzie. And what she does is basically she finds people that have passed away who cannot bring themselves to go into the afterlife. She kind of talks them down, explains to them what's going on, and then kind of puts them in a door, locks the door, and they kind of go out into the void, essentially. And that is the big thing. But at the beginning of the book, her brother unfortunately passes away. So she's dealing with the grief of that. Not only that, she's dealing with the grief of having to find other people's loved ones and make sure that they get to where they need to go after they passed away. And yeah, it kind of goes from there. It goes crazy. I was not expecting to like this book as much as I did. And I've liked all of V.E. Schwab's books, so I'm not surprised that I liked it, but I'm surprised how much I liked it, if that makes sense. And then we also have A Soul to Keep by Opal Rain. I really, really liked that book. I was actually really surprised by like the emotional depth that was in this monster romance book. I do need to continue on with the series, but I really, really, really loved A Soul to Keep, and I was really surprised by it, honestly. A Soul to Keep follows our main character, and she has basically been groomed since she was a little bit younger to become a Duskwalker's bride. A Duskwalker is kind of something that comes into their world and eats humans. Basically, they smell fear and they feed off of fear. And they're hoping that if they send her into the forest, that basically the Duskwalker will protect their kingdom. And I feel like this has been kind of a situation that they've been doing for quite a while, and it has been keeping the monsters at bay, as far as I know. And so she has to go and kind of be immersed into this new world, this new place that she doesn't really know or understand. And it's really great. I really, really liked it. I really, really love the Duskwalker that she falls in love with. I'm blanking on his, Orpheus. That's his name, I believe. I really loved it. And yeah, it was just really cute. the ending went crazy. I was very surprised by the ending, so yeah, I really loved that. And then the next question is newest fictional crush, and I also have 2 answers for this one. But we have Rowan Silver from Enchantra by Kaylee Smith. I really liked that book. I always think about that book, which I'm very shocked by, because when I was reading it, as I was getting to the end, I was like, I don't know if I love this as much as I want to, but I consistently think about that book. I really liked it. But a man after my own heart. And then we also have Jackson Rhodes, or Jax, from the Sugar Lake series by Emily McIntyre. He's in the whole series. I can't remember the name of his book off at the top of my head, but I will put it on the screen as well. But like I said, he is part of the whole interconnected standalone series. And actually, since I have Goodreads pulled up on my other tab, I will tell you. Beneath the Hood. There we go. That makes sense. But he is a consistent character all throughout the series. I really, really like him. I love him. He's a sweetie pie, cutie pie. I just love him. There's just something about him. I just love him. And then we have Book That Made You Cry. And I also have 2 answers for this one. I have to say, The Archived by B.E. Schwab had me absolutely sobbing. And I was not expecting it, but it was so heart-wrenching and just it really depicts grief and how grief makes you do crazy things. And it was just so heart-wrenching, and just the sadness buried itself into my chest. And I was crying, and I was not expecting to cry with that book. And then we also have Waiting for Spring, Volume 14 by Anna Shin. Another book that I just was beside myself when I finished. I finished Waiting for Spring finally this year, and I've not been the same since. But the thing that made me cry is there was kind of a parallel between 2 of the characters, and I felt like it really gave the one character closure, and it made him see the other person in a different light. And it just the way that literally ripped out my heart. Crazy. All right, next we have a book that made you happy, and I had to choose Under the Oak Tree Comic Volume 2 for this one as well. The way that I kicked my feet and squealed and just was having the grandest old time with it. I loved it. I loved it. I know I was trying not to pick the same book for multiple answers, but you just have to sometimes. And then the next question, the second to last question, is the most beautiful book you bought or received this year. And I have a couple to talk about. So we have In Immorta by Ava Reed. For some reason, my little puny, well, it's not a little puny brain, but my brain just cannot say this title correctly. But not only do I just love this cover, but look at these end papers. I'm gagged. They're so gorgeous. And then obviously we have these stenciled edges, which I love stenciled edges as much as the next person, but I do think that sometimes they're overdone a little bit. Then we have Anathema, which I got for my birthday. I love this. I especially love the deluxe edition sprayed edges. Pretty end paper, obviously. And I do love the little shiny bit on the front. And then this is just a special shout out to this series in particular, this line of designs for the series. But I got my copy of Taming 7 by Chloe Walsh from Eternal Embers. This is a collaboration they did with Larry Reed's, and I love this. I haven't even taken it out of the plastic yet, but I just love these covers so much. I really need to read the series. Someone needs to bully me. It's been on 50 of my TBRs so far this year and last year. I really need to get into Binding 13. Honestly, I started reading it and it was a really, really bad time for me to read it, so I had to stop, but I love this. And then, so I really need to make this quick. My camera is blinking at me, but it would feel unfair if I did not mention these other 3 books. Okay. Or other 4 books that I also have behind me. We have the special edition of The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. I love this. I love this. I love the end papers. Fun fact about me, hate moths, IRL, love moths in books. I don't know what that says about me. But this book also has some illustrations. Well, it has this. I'm not going to show you the illustrations. Well, if I can find one, maybe I will. Okay. Oh, here's an illustration. I love it. I'm so excited to read this book. I'm kind of bummed it was on my June TBR, and I don't think it's going to happen in June, but I love that. And then we have my special collector's edition of The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. Love the gilded edges on this, and just all the gilded goodness on this. And this also has some really beautiful illustrations for the front and back end pages, I believe. Yep, there's some illustrations within it. And what I really love about this book is that it's actually annotated in full by the author. So I really need to reread this. I really need to, but I'm excited to reread this copy so I can see all of Holly Black's goodness with her annotations. All right, I think this is pretty close to how we had it. I let my camera charge for approximately 2 minutes, but I wanted to hurry and finish this video really quick. Because I'm nervous that if I don't do it right now, I won't forget, but like, I don't know when I'll be able to finish it. So I really, like, it would be a shame if I didn't talk to you about these. So this is the Duskwalker Bride beginnings books, and these are still also wrapped in plastic, so I can't show you everything on them. Maybe I can show you the first book, even though I got that last year, but these covers are so beautiful and like eye-catching and holographic. They're just stunning. I love them. I love how they look. I love them. They are so stinking gorgeous. And I love these boxes. They are so sturdy. They are made of cardboard. So they're pretty sturdy unless you step on them in the middle of the night trying to put your kid to bed. And then they aren't very sturdy. So just don't step on them. But they are really sturdy. They're beautiful. You can really see like how holographic they are on camera. And then they also have like other things. So I will show you the first book in the Duskwalker Bride series. Oh, this has to be like one of my favorite books in the series. But anyway, they also all have like a little thingy like that. I just want to wait. I want to keep those in as pristine condition as I can until I actually read them. And then each one has a quote on the back. Alrighty. My camera is blinking at me again, so I'm probably really like, I'm really pressing my luck today. But let's get to the last question. The last question I actually did not have a specific answer for, but I can probably give you a rough estimate of what I'm going to put on here. So the last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I'm just going to say a blanket statement of my whole 2026 TBR, pretty much. I have not gotten to them yet. It sucks so bad. I've read like 2, maybe. I'm in the middle of a 3rd one, but I just really have not put my whole back into reading that. So I really need to, because I forced my husband to do that, and I know that he really didn't want to, but he did for me. So now I need to hold up my end of the bargain and read them. I need to read an Ava Reid book this year. I have yet to finish one, and I need it like I need water, like I need air. I need to read an Ava Reid book. Immorta and Lady Macbeth are on my more immediate TBR, but I also really would love to read A Study in Drowning as well. And then I would also really like to get caught up on the Spark of the Everflame series before the last book comes out. I mean, there are like a million books on my TBR. I need to catch up on all of Madge Rafferty's books. Oh, that was another anticipated release. Is it Finding Hope? That is coming out. I really need to hurry up with this. Sorry. I'm Chasing Hope. Oh, I'm so excited. I think, when is the release date? Oh, maybe it does not say. August 11th. So it comes out August 11th. So I really need to catch up. Alrighty, we might have to finish this video on my phone. Okay, here's the thing. I'm supposed to get a call. I was told that they closed at 12, but it says on their website they close at 1. So I want to get this video filmed or finished in case I get some bad news and I'm not in the mood to finish it. So, but yeah, Chasing Hope, I'm very excited about. I really need to catch up on the Ice Hawk series. And then I also have the Air Broken Fate series by her as well. I really need to continue on with the second one. But yeah, that is all the questions. Thank you all so much for watching the video. You should let me know, especially if you don't have a channel. But if you do have a channel, you should put your links to this video down below when you have it filmed so that I can go and watch and say hi to all of you guys. That would be really fun for me. Let me put you right here. I swear on my phone, ever since I got this new case, does not want to stand up. It's probably the way that I have my pop socket on there. I'm actually gonna crash out. All right, there we go. I had to take my case off because I think the ridges really screw with it, but you guys should let me know any of your answers to these questions that you want to let me know. I am really curious to kind of know the answers, know what you guys are excited for the rest of the year. Obviously, there are like so many books that I'm excited to read by the end of the year. So many books that I'm excited for them to come out by the end of the year. I'm so excited. So you guys should let me know down below some of the answers to these questions. If you would like to, I'd love that. And like I said, if you have videos, you should let me know in the comments. You can try to link them. I don't know if the links will work necessarily, but you can definitely try to link your mid-year book freakout tags down below. I'd love that. But with all that being said, thank you all so much for watching my video. If you like me, if you like seeing my face, hit the like button. If you want to see my face again, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified every time I post a new video, honestly, I'd follow me on Instagram. That's where you're going to get all the first updates. But if you don't have an Instagram, cross your fingers, hope the notification bell works. And with all that being said, I will see you cuties in the next one very soon. Bye everyone.